Welcome to another episode of Tech Talk Radio. I'm Andy Taylor.
I'm Shawn Weird.
And I'm Justin Lemmy.
Oh, good to see everybody. How's everybody doing? You survived Valentine's Day. Look at that.
We did.
Yeah,
We did.
I think you did.
I don't know. Wait. It was Valentine's Day? Oh my God, my wife's
Oh,
gonna
no,
kill me.
you're
My
not
wife's
really
gonna kill me.
Oh,
No, I don't. You know what? Honestly,
Between work and the flu going through our house,
yeah,
I don't think we even noticed it was Valentine's Day, to be honest.
yeah.
no, you sound like you still have a little bit of that cold too.
It's yeah, if you're listening, you can definitely tell I'm still congested a little bit, like I'm a little hoarse. It's been Caitlin got sick, I got sick, Max got sick, Caitlin got sick, Max it was just a rotating.
Yeah.
It's been going around our community. There are schools that closed because over 60% of the class was out sick.
Oh, wow.
So it's definitely going around this area pretty hard right now.
This is why you wash your hands.
Yeah.
Yeah. And as Caitlin as a pharmacist will say that likely this is just a vaccine this year that didn't match the strain of the flu.
Ooh.
So
Oh, wow.
Well, I can't say we've had the same down here at least. We're lucky, I guess you could say. But going back to the Valentine's Day thing, Valentine's Day for me, I never believed in Valentine's Day. I think
Right?
wasn't Valentine's Day a manufactured holiday by
it's
like
it's a Hallmark holiday.
Yeah, and Hallmark has like 1,200 SKUs plus of different greeting cards for Valentine's Day.
That's ridiculous.
Gift bags, gift wrap, cards, the whole bit. But it's kind of a thing. I'm always asked around Valentine's Day, can you come up with some great gift ideas for Valentine's when it comes to tech? I think the tech is maybe not the thing you give for Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Or it's not appropriate to talk about on the radio.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, he just went there.
Yeah, I saw where you're going there, Shawn. But yeah, no, whether it be a red, flash drive or storage drive, or maybe something for the laptop or something, for the computer. I don't know,
Or the bedroom.
How do you put that all together for Valentine's Day? Anyway.
I just
I mean,
don't.
is that what people want for Valentine's Day? Do they want more technology in their lives
For tech all the time. I mean,
Well, I mean, as a techie, I would always love tech gifts. I mean, I would love tech gifts every single day of the week,
right?
honestly.
Yeah, so I'm fine with that.
But I'm not going to get that.
You have to buy your own, don't you?
Oh, yeah. No, seriously, I do. Like, if I want something tech related, I have to just buy it myself. I'm just like, happy birthday to me, even though it's not
Oh
my
yeah,
birthday.
Caitlin never knows what to buy me for technology.
No,
Yeah.
yeah, neither does Misa. She's like, what do you want for your birthday? I'm like, I want this. She's like, okay, I'll buy it for you. I'm like, why don't I just buy it myself? Like, what? It's like, well, because it's your birthday, I have to give you a gift. No, you don't. Just let me
Yeah.
buy what I want.
Yeah, there you go. How do you explain to, the other half that you want a processor or you need a cooling fan or
Yeah, she would just be like, here's the credit card. Just go do what you want.
I mean, we talked about it. Like, I decided to buy that printer for myself.
so it's not okay. So it's not
What
a
printer?
It's a scanner.
Sorry, it's a
Yeah.
scanner. I
It
call it
looks
a
like-
printer because
Yeah.
it's a printer. It scans photos.
Yeah.
I haven't got it plugged in yet. I did open the box, but I'm excited to get it. But
Is
we
it a
talked
nice
about
one?
it. It's
Yeah.
the same one that Andy talked about a month ago. It's the
It's the-
Epson
Fast photo
Fast Photo V600 or something.
680. Yeah.
It's I haven't got it set up. I've got it sitting over there. I can't reach it right now without moving around. But I'm excited to get it because I've got a ton of the 4x6s that didn't have negatives with them from my family's archive.
Wow.
So I can now just pack in about 60 to 70 photos and let it just go scan,
Yeah.
scan,
That's awesome.
Just,
scan, and it's just
if
gonna
you're doing-
cycle through.
if you do them at 300 DPI, I mean, it's super fast. If you do them at 600, I mean, it's a little slower, but it's still better than lifting up the flatbed, and putting them on there and then having to resize them. The software does it all. I even took, I don't know why, but my family from Burma, or Myanmar now, as it's known, they actually, they would do photos, but they were like thumbnails almost. I mean, they were like stamps. And that's the size of the photos. You put them in an album. and I'd had to take them out of the album, but I got a bunch of those, and I scanned them with the Epson Fast Photo, and they handled it without jamming or anything. It was really cool.
No, I'm
So,
excited. I'm excited to do it,
yep.
and it's just gonna get that project finished because that's all that I have left. Right? Anything that had negatives or positives that I scanned in, all done. Now
Great.
it's all categorized by at least what I know by year or what information was provided to me by my family, and I've just got to go from the '60s all the way up through the early to the mid 2000s. So
Are you going to do the metadata? Because you can put the metadata in.
I will be put like I'm going to be sorting it by year, and then by event. Hopefully, like this is what I think the event is, and some of the people that are in them.
Right.
But with some of the software, you can photo tag the like. I'm going to dump them into Google Drive and Google Photos, which will then tag the people that I've already tagged in other albums with my family's archive, and it should populate the same, use the same data already existing. So it's been it's like I said, this is a project I've been working on since 2019. You guys have kind of been following along the whole time. So it's weird that it's taken 5 years, but it's just a lot of work.
Yeah, but you're preserving it for the future generations because
Oh yeah, no, it's
Are they paying you for this?
they bought me the Wolverine film scanner. They bought me the Epson printer. Like they bought the printer. I keep calling it printer. The scanner, the flatbed scanner. So they bought all of that equipment for me, this knowing that it was going to take me time.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
At least you're not just having to like invest for like no return besides, obviously, archiving this stuff. But yeah.
The return for me is seeing my family enjoy the pictures.
Oh, no, I get that. No, okay, I might be a little bit more on the capitalist side. I'm like, hey, I want a little something for this if I'm going to be spending all my time doing this for y'all.
Oh, you're just so great.
Oh yeah, hey, come on,
All right. So, question for you, Shawn, about this. Now, I remember some years ago, we used to have a place out here called Flicko's, and they had a super 8 millimeter camera projector rig. And I took one of my 8 millimeter films in, and I had it transferred. It's great because I have it. It's not the best looking thing. And now I understand, like our buddy Mitch Goldstone, who is at Scan My Photos, they have an 8 millimeter film scanner, but it does it frame by frame.
Yep.
So it will take a frame of that 8 millimeter film, scan it, then another frame, and it photo corrects it, it color corrects it. It does all this amazing work. I'm wondering now, VHS is a little different, ball of wax. I got a question from Jim this week too, asking, hey, question, a good system program to dub VHS to hard drive. And is that something that you've done? I mean, and what did you end up using?
So I bought a RCA to HDMI converter,
Okay.
which then will upscale it to either 720 or 1080, depending on whatever you want. Wasn't the most ideal way to do it, because it kind of botched the resolution a little bit, I think, on the upscale. What really you need is something that will retime it, because tapes need to be timed. So you need something that has a time-based corrector in it.
Yeah.
What I would look into, it is getting a VHS DVD combo that can write to hard drives, because you can put the tapes in and it'll copy it as you're going into the hard drive.
Oh, nice. All right.
So that's a way to do it. Otherwise, I just was playing out of the VHS, put the tape in, RCA out to this device that was clocking it, and I'd have to look at, I don't remember what it's called. I bought it off Amazon. HDMI to a Blackmagic H.264 encoder.
Right. Right.
So it was going out analog, getting converted to digital, and capturing as an H.264. Because a lot of people have the ability to bring capture cards in,
Right.
but they're either going to capture at a much lower resolution or a much higher resolution. Because if you just go out and buy, say, like a Blackmagic Decklink card or a capture card from Elgato 4K or something, you still have to have a program that will record. So you can either bring it in and record it with OBS. Then you can do some H.264 encoding, but you're going to need something. You're going to need a processor that supports H.264 encoding. or you're going to use like the Blackmagic software, but that's going to capture like ProRes or AVC, or DNX HD, like the much higher lossless codecs that are going to take up a ton more space.
I told him because the one I bought ended up buying when I and doing it a little later on was the Diamond VC 500 SE. It's a kind of a one-touch VHS camcorder to digital file converter. So it does that, and it's not bad. It has a little screen on it. The problem is finding a good VCR to do it. I had a VCR with some head issues, so you got a little noise on it, the whole bit. I'd almost recommend buying a brand new VCR if you don't have one, or have one that is just got very low life on it, and trying it that way. And also, don't forget, if the tapes have been sitting around a long time, like they can actually have some of that problem on the tapes themselves, and there's no way to really get around that. Not really. So I mean, that's one thing to look at. And the one from Diamond, it's not that expensive. I think you can find that on Amazon for, I want to say, like around 50 or 60 bucks. I do have a time-based corrector from Blackmagic that I ended up buying for years ago. I've never used it because I used to have a 3/4 inch deck, and it got thrown away by some people who didn't know what they were throwing away. And it was in my house in Huntington Beach. And now I'm still trying to find a 3/4 inch deck that's not that expensive. Just so I've got about 20 tapes to transfer that would be from when I was in high school. I did the movie reviews for the high school. I would love to see those. But 3/4 inch, that's what I got it for. But anyway, that's a lot of fun. All right. We got to touch on something that I think is so cool. So we talked a few weeks back about I want to say, is it Planet Zomboid? Well, no,
Project Zomboid.
Oh, Project Zomboid.
Project Zomboid. We had a couple of comments from the Opus clip that we had put on our social media on TikTok and Instagram Reels and Facebook. People liked it. One guy said it was his most favorite game ever. And then I get this audio file from Justin, and I'm listening to this, and he goes, "Oh, by the way, I might be a voice in the game." And so here, we're going to play the clip from you for you, so you could hear Justin in Project Zomboid. Here you go.
My name is Pastor James Hartnell. I am in what was once a place for radio broadcast. Nice. It is now a mausoleum, a walking mausoleum. I have been bitten. I am not long for this world. I came here to this room to pray with you for our souls. Our Father, who art... Oh, but here they come. Do not worry. I am ready for this. God bless you. Get back! Get back! Ah! Who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name.
That is awesome. All right, you got to tell us the story behind this. That you may be one of the voices in the game.
Yeah, so just kind of recap a little bit about this game. This is a game that's on Steam. It's a PC game. It has been around since 2013, as I think it was when the very first iteration of this game came out. But it is it's a zombie survival game, and it looks a lot like the original Sims. I
think it's generated interest in Sims again, hasn't it?
Well, yeah. I wouldn't really necessarily go that far, because I know the Sims did also re-release their 25th anniversary edition of the Sims. Yeah, but the game does look a lot like Sims, and I'll be honest. A lot of times, I'll be over at our neighborhood brewery, and I'll be playing Project Zomboid, and I'm walking. People walk by me, and they're like, "Oh, you're playing the Sims." I'm like, "No, I'm not. I'm playing Project Zomboid." Right. It basically what it is. It's a survival game. You are a survivor in an apocalyptic event that takes place in Knox County, Kentucky. And you will not survive the game, because the game actually, when you start the game, it actually says, this is the story of how you died. And you will die in the game, because the zombies will get you. It's just, how long can you survive, and what can you accomplish during that time before the zombies get to you? So I've been playing the game a lot, and it recently had a resurgence in popularity because the developers, Indie Stone, they came out with a new update called Build 42, and they basically revamped everything in the game. They made the combat better. They made the AI of the zombies better. They made a lot more stuff you can do as a character. It's like basically a completely revamped game, and people are loving it. And as of the recording of this show, everybody's talking about it. PC Gamer, all kinds of different websites are all talking about this is the best zombie survival horror game you can get right now on Steam, and it's only $20. Anyway, so I'm playing it, and there's a lot of mods. You can add a lot of mods because the developer, it's a very small team and they can't fix all the bugs. So there's a huge modding community out there, and one of the mods, I believe, was called Better TV Radio, because there are televisions and radios in the game.
Like stations, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and you can get a radio, you can tune into a station, but the thing is the radio stations and even the TV, they all sound like the old like Peanuts characters, like the you know. So this particular mod decided, hey, let's get some voice actors. Let's redo the lines, because the lines, the text is on the screen. It's just the voices are just like whoa, 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 whoa. So they said, let's go ahead and let's do this. Let's make it professional. So I went to their Discord channel and they said, hey, look, we're hiring voice actors. Here are all of the lines that we need recorded. And a lot of them were already taken, including the one that you just heard, was taken by this, but it was called Pastor John. And so I saw this and I said, you know what? I have all the equipment, you know, because we do Tech Talk Radio. I have a studio in my house. And I've got a lot of experience. I said, you know, I'm going to give this a shot. So I went home and I took one take. What you just heard right there took one take.
Nice.
And I recorded the voice and I sent it in to the Discord channel. And the admin of that particular mod that was running the Discord said stuff that we cannot say on radio. He said, you know, basically, oh my God.
Right.
He goes, where have you been? I needed you like 6 months ago.
Oh, that's awesome.
He goes, there's a lot of the lines that I've already given away. We've already put them into the game, but I'm giving you this one, even though I already gave it to somebody else. I'm giving you this one. And I want you for other things. And on top of that, he also mentioned that he's in talks with Indie Stone to make his mod part of the base game.
Oh, very nice. Right.
So if that happens, then I will be in the base game. That's as a voice, and it's just a random voice, but they are going to be doing in the future. Their plans are to do not only just more TV, more radio voices in the game, but also they're going to introduce NPC characters, and those characters are going to have voices. So I may end up doing a lot more voiceover work
you
for
might
this
be an
game.
NPC. That's awesome.
I might be an NPC. Well, hey, it'll be the second time, man. Remember, I did a voice for Postal 2 back with Running with Scissors with Vince Desi.
That's right. With Vince, who is from here. Did you ever play No Regrets?
I did. I didn't like it.
Yeah,
it was mediocre.
It was really bad.
Yeah.
But I like that they had Corey Cruz as one of the voices, because you could choose from the original or Corey Cruz.
You had Corey. You had Rick Hunter.
KLPX. Yep, Rick Hunter was the original.
Who works in town as well, and then the other was who was the other voice? It was
just Corey and Rick.
No, there was another one. Was it? I think it was St. James. What's his name? The guy who's Duke Nukem.
Oh, yeah. Rick St. James.
He's been on our show before. St.
James.
Yeah. So that was
but the game itself was not that great. Honestly, it felt a little rushed.
How much is this game to play? I mean,
well, for Project Zomboid, it's $20. $20 on Steam, and it provides hours and hours of entertainment.
If you have a PC, can you get it?
Yes, it's on PC. It's on Steam. So if you got Steam, I think you can even get it on Mac. If you have a Mac and you have Steam client, I believe they have a version for that. Now, if you have a PlayStation or an Xbox, unfortunately, no. This is only a PC game. But I would highly recommend Project Zomboid. It doesn't require a huge amount of graphics power or processing power. It is a very old school looking game, but it is super, super good.
All right. Speaking of PlayStation, can't do this and not talk about it. I don't know if you were affected. I know that Justin, you do play PlayStation.
No,
Shawn, do you?
no,
Oh,
I
you
don't.
don't anymore.
Nope.
Nope.
Okay, because I was wondering if you were affected by this 24-hour outage, which is apparently going to cost Sony some money.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they went down and they're going to be doing
Well,
payouts.
the funny thing was is they never said what was the cause. They just said, oh, it was equipment maintenance or something like that. A lot of people were thinking, hey, this was probably a hack. I mean, because you don't have equipment failure like that on that kind of scale for that long unless it was a hack. Now that harkens back to, what was it, 2011,
Right?
when they had the famous Sony hack where they were down for like 3 straight weeks or
Oh,
something like
wow.
that.
Yeah.
Where they stole like 48 million people's data. I was living in San Diego at the time. I remember that happening. But the 24 hours, and they were basically radio silent. Like they were just come on. Yes, we are aware that some people are having a problem. We are working on it. And it's like, I'm sorry, some people, everybody.
So they kind of took like what Microsoft did in this remember that the last down outage that they had that was really bad.
Yeah.
They just really didn't say anything for a long time.
Yeah.
They were trying to figure it all out. And
Yeah, I really think there was a lot more to the story than what they were even leading on. I really think it was some sort of a breach in their system, and they were trying to.
Usually when it's radio silence, it's because they don't know.
Yeah,
yeah.
Usually it's like, oh, here's why, and it's either some facade or it's a half truth, but nothing.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
And
There was something going on.
The 2011 outage lasted 23 days,
23 days. Okay.
and it compromised 77 million PlayStation user accounts.
Yeah.
Are people still now when you think about this, okay, you go back to think of some of the big hacks where it's been medical systems, hospitals, medical data. I don't know, if banks have been ever hit. We know schools have. One of our school districts here have. When something like this happened, how long can those repercussions affect the customer base that has data, whether it be phone numbers, email? How long is that stuff going to be floating around?
Decades.
Who knows where the data went?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it goes to the dark web. It goes to the
And then it
highest
gets
bidder.
sold, and then it gets resold and resold
Yeah.
and resold.
I mean,
Yeah.
this is how you get these scam emails and the scam text messages and things like that, is because your information was exposed onto the dark web to the highest bidder, and a lot of times those highest bidders are from foreign countries like North Korea, China, Russia. Those are the top three biggest hacking countries out there besides the United States. But you even got countries like Czech Republic. There's actually a pretty decent size hacking community in the Czech Republic. But the biggest ones are the first three that I mentioned. So yeah, once your data is out on the dark web, it's out there forever.
Would you recommend that people take that offer that they'll get? Usually they'll get an offer for free credit monitoring for a year to be able to keep an eye on that. Would you recommend they do that? Or is
So
it
you have to be really careful with that, because do you remember the Experian hack?
yeah.
Right, the credit whatever, one of the big credit
that's
score
right.
places.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So they released almost like immediately this, please sign, here's this customer agreement. It'll give you X amount of free stuff from us. But it negated a bunch of the court stuff,
Like
saying
liability.
like liability, and and it went around like wildfire because people were like, this is the answer. It's going to protect your data. They're saying it's going to be so good for you. But it ended up being, well, hey, a class action lawsuit got filed 2 months later. And people were like, well, I'm not part of that. I can't be a part of that because I signed this agreement before.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
All right.
you have to be very careful when companies come very forward very quickly with these
Yep.
too good to be true offers, because they're just looking out for their back end.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, I never signed those. I mean, I've been a victim of multiple, and they're always like, "Hey, we're offering you 3 free years of credit monitoring," and then you read the fine print. Yeah, exactly what Shawn said is, you sign this, you take this offer, you lose your right to sue us in the future, or even just become part of a class action lawsuit against us by taking this offer. So I'm always like, nope. I'm gonna sit back and see what happens.
Somebody wants to ask me when you sign up for stuff online, Like whether it's, maybe through a vendor of a product that you like and you want to sign up to get information, that you use a social media email account that's not tied to a main account. Like say you have an account through your ISP, whether it be Xfinity or Cox or, any of the cable services, Google Fi, that you use one that is separate and just like a Gmail or a Yahoo or even AOL.
So there are a lot of people that do that, and a lot of people that do this, and this is kind of where I would love to have Matt, if he was here tonight, chime
Oh,
in
yeah.
because he is the cybersecurity expert. But I do know that a lot of IT professionals and especially cybersecurity professionals, they have 15, 20, 25 email addresses.
Right.
Because I mean, you can sign up for them. They're free. I mean, they're all free, right?
Yeah.
And what they do is they assign those email addresses to particular types of things that they do on the internet. For instance, online shopping, they'll use one particular email address.
Got it.
Then for any type of registration of products that they buy, they'll use a different one because then they can track who is selling the information. Because if they go to register a brand new email address that has never been out there before and they register a product and all of a sudden, bam, 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 they're getting hit with spam emails. They're like, yeah, this company just sold my information, even though they said they wouldn't.
It's interesting stuff. All right, we're going to take a break. We come back. We've got a couple of listener questions. We got some news of some tech as well. We'll be back with more of Tech Talk Radio. I'm Andy Taylor.
I'm Shawn DeWeird.
And I'm Justin. Let me find us on the web at techtalkradio.com. We'll be right back. All right, so we have a listener question here. It says, I have started a new home-based business, and I was looking for ways to get the word out. A buddy of mine told me not to bother with a website. He says most people use social media to get the word out. Wanted to get your thoughts on needing a website. Ooh, I disagree with what your buddy says. I think
Yeah.
everybody needs to have a website.
I agree with you, but the cost of a website has gone up.
Not that much.
Well, I think it depends on what you're putting on there, and it depends on how much you want on the website. There are some people put everything they do. They have they have a blog, maybe they'll have.
Oh, well, sure, yeah. I mean,
But all right, so you started a website for your DJ business, right?
yeah, yeah.
But that probably wasn't too much of an investment.
So what I did was I basically I used who did I use? Wix. I think I used Wix.
That's like a build your own kind of.
Yeah, it's kind of like Squarespace, Wix, stuff like that. They also have an e-commerce platform built in, which obviously I didn't need to use the e-commerce, but what I did was I used the Wix program or process to buy the domain, which obviously you have to buy the domain name.
Right.
And then the hosting of the actual website, which I think I got like 5 pages. I think I get 5 website pages on my platform.
Is it
And then
on Wix? Is it on Wix? Are they the
It's-
hosting company or?
Well, they're the hosting company, but it doesn't have a Wix domain. It uses my personal domain. It doesn't
Okay,
use
got it.
theirs.
Cool.
Yeah, it's my own personal domain. But it is hosted by Wix, and I also get I get like 5. I think I get 5 pages of content, but I also get an email address. So if I want to, people want to email me, that goes through
Right.
Wix as well. And I used a little bit of their social media tool, which just kind of helps promote my website to search engines. It's called SEO, search engine optimization.
Right.
And then what I did was I think I bought the 3-year package because it was a better deal because I knew I was going to have the website for a while. And I think I paid $500 for 3 years of all of this, which means hosting, domain name, email, everything, all of it for like $500.
Yeah, I think the idea of just putting it on social media, I don't know if that's a good idea if you're starting a business, especially if it's home based, because doesn't it, if you're just on Facebook or Instagram, doesn't it just kind of really, it doesn't say too much about the professionalism or, that,
Well,
that you could be
yeah.
trustworthy. I don't
Well,
know.
also content on social media disappears. I mean, you're not going to be able to go back and visit that content very easily. I mean, yes, if you follow the person on social media or whatever, you might, But a lot of those social media, what he's talking about, this home business, he's probably talking about things like advertising on social media, which means he's going to be paying for advertisements, which are going to reach a lot of people, but most people just skip right by the advertisements. So to have your own website, which is like a home base for your business, that's going to be where you want it to go.
Plus the
You
email
can
address,
use,
right?
yeah, of course, with the email address with your own domain. You'd be Justin at, Tech Talk Radio, right?
Right.
That's a more personal way of doing it. Actually, you know what? I forgot to mention part of that Wix deal was I actually got 500 business cards as well.
Oh, actual business cards?
Actual business cards.
That's a great idea, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is good. I find having that email address is also a certain benefit because somebody has a home-based business, it's just looks so much better.
Well, yeah, I mean, you got a business and you're like, oh yeah, I have a home business. I do I don't know, let's say I do home painting and you can reach me at justin@gmail.com. It just doesn't seem professional.
Yeah.
When you got a gmail.com or an AOL.com or a yahoo.com, it just doesn't seem professional.
Shawn, what do you think?
I agree with Justin. I mean, I think having a presence where somebody can come and look at your content, it also depends on what you're selling or what you're doing.
Right.
If it all depends, but like if you want to, you have to use some of those tools. Like you could try and do all your own search engine optimization and all that stuff, but it's like, it's a job on itself. Like it's about what amount of work you want to put into it to get out of it. Because you can put as much time and effort into it, but if you're not going to get any return in your investment, have somebody else build it for you.
Now, let me take this in a completely different direction, though. Now, I don't know what this person's business is. They didn't mention in the question. There is a couple different people that I particularly watch on YouTube that I just happen to naturally find within the YouTube algorithm, and they are landscapers, right? And they do these videos where they do a time lapse of them like mowing a person's lawn and making it look all nice and neat.
I've seen those.
Or maybe they're cleaning
amazing.
like a storm drain or something and they're doing like a time lapse. Those are like organic social media because you're not really putting a lot of effort into it except for just simply recording the video and then putting it up on YouTube and hoping somebody finds you. That's one way of doing it. So like if you're a landscaper and you want to showcase your work, yeah, why not throw up a YouTube channel? But the algorithm is going to have to pick you up. And that's almost impossible nowadays.
Right.
So to have a website where you could, you could take those videos that you've made of you doing your work and put them on your website, which then drives traffic to your YouTube channel, which then gets you more subscribers, which then in turn makes the algorithm pay more attention to you. Rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. Right. And now next thing you know, you're a millionaire.
Well, the other idea too would be that if you have the website, still invest in social media by having your presence. And that's where you put a lot of content. And again, drive it back to your website. I mean, that would make sense.
Well,
so
do it both ways.
Yeah, do it both ways. Don't just say, okay, I got a website, I'm good, and not pay any attention to it, not do any updates to it. Do both of them, social media and that. And that's probably a better way, or even radio advertising.
And then radio advertising too. And link your YouTube channel to your website. So people go to your website, they see your videos that are hosted on YouTube, which then brings them to the YouTube channel, which then gets them to subscribe to you. And then it affects the algorithm. So, I mean, it's a big game, man. Like it's really hard to get noticed on social media anymore, to be honest. So having a website is the best thing to do.
Great question there. Shawn, do you want to handle the next question?
Yes, I do, because I've been looking at the question. I've been looking at options because I have several that just came right off the top of my head.
All right.
So the next listener question is, and for one, I'm going to comment on this because it says, I found a flash drive with a bunch of Windows Media video files on it.
Where?
I hope it was there.
Where?
Yeah.
Right? That is
That's the first thing I
here.
saw.
If you found it outside or on the street, don't plug it into anything.
Yeah, don't.
Like, well, clearly you did because you know it has movie files on it, right? But
right.
I'm going to give good faith here and trust that this is your flash drive that you may have just had laying around in your house. There are good options.
All right. What do they want? They want to know what?
So the best one is free.
All right, so
And
they
it's-
wanted.
it-
So they want. The question is, they wanted. They want a way to convert these, right?
oh
Easily.
yeah, sorry, I didn't read the rest of the question. My fault. I found a flash drive with a bunch of Windows Media video files on it. Is there a way to convert them easily? I don't
Okay.
mind spending a few dollars, or is there a free option?
Okay.
There are several free options for this.
All right.
Handbrake is the
Handbrake.
number one video transcoding piece of software I can recommend to anybody.
I always thought that Handbrake was just for a way for me to get my DVD movies into
Nope.
a file.
That is probably the number one reason I use it for is you can put a DVD in and rip it, and it gives you a file. It will
Right.
take essentially any media platform you can think of within reason.
Right.
Obviously, your computer has to have the codec to be able to do it. Windows media files, Windows WMVs are one of them. You can then convert it to just audio as an MP3. You can convert it to an H.264. You can do all sorts of stuff with it. The other one that I recommend, and this is something I recommend to everybody that's installing on their new, fresh install of Windows or whatever, VLC Player.
VLC player. Oh yeah.
VLC
Yeah.
Player is probably
VLC is
the
great.
most, they call it the Swiss Army knife of media players. It's free. It's open source. It looks like a little traffic cone. It's cool. They can convert with that also. It's a little bit more complicated. It's a little bit more, you have to kind of have a little bit more technical knowledge to understand exactly what you're trying to do within the software itself. But that one's also free. But
Okay.
it'll play pretty much any media format on the planet, which is incredible. And then if you are very tech savvy and you want to try to do it yourself with a little bit of Python coding, FFmpeg.
FFMPEG. All right.
FFmpeg is it's an open source process that runs in the background on your computer, so it doesn't have a web interface. It's built into a lot of other products. You can use it and then run either a Python script to say I want to transcode this file to this file, etc. Like we use it at work all the time to transcode NDI into baseband. Like there are certain processes that we use it for that are way more advanced than the general users are ever going to do.
All right. One question I'm wondering about, Shawn, why would somebody want to move from Windows media video files to maybe another format? What would be the reason for that?
Well, compatibility.
Okay. All right.
So if I send you a Windows media file, how are you going to play it?
On my computer.
Will it work?
I think so.
You would
I
have to
think,
try,
I'm
right?
not sure,
Do you
yeah.
have the Windows media player installed?
Yeah.
It may or may not be installed. You might have to go to the Play Store and download it.
So what the best place to play a file would be what format? MP4 or
So yeah, it like if you think of it from a phone level, right? Most phones record in H.264, MPEG-4,
right.
because that's the most compatible with existing devices in the world right now. If you have it set to most performance, you're going to get HEVC, or you're going to get a ProRes or something, or whatever the Google's using, ProRes RAW or Blackmagic RAW or whatever format there are. So H.264 or H.265 here, hopefully soon, will be the most compatible, meaning
Got it.
most software and devices are going to be able to read that codec and play it back. If you send somebody a WMV, a Windows media file, and they're on a Mac or an iPhone or an Android, they're
Right.
probably not going to be able to play it straight away.
Got it.
But if you
All
send them an MP4 that's encoded H.264, they'll be able to play it because those devices are licensed to play those codecs and can play those back, video and audio.
And in some cases, the compression algorithm may work a little better with a different file format, right? I mean, so you're going to save space.
So Windows media files are less compressed than H.264s, but depending on how big the file is, it could be a worse looking compression though than H.264.
Ah, got it.
H.264 and H.265 are more efficient codecs. They made and they can create smaller file sizes, but at greater quality. So you start getting into it's WMVs, AVIs, and certain other file structures. You get more data, less compression, but the file sizes are bigger. And
All right.
it depends on what flavor the codec is. It might compress things differently, but
And Adobe, what do you think? Do they have software that's
so yep. So there are a couple Adobe products you can get. Adobe Express, which is not one that I've used in a long time. But then they have the Adobe Media Encoder. So if you're part of an enterprise level Adobe suite, or you have access to the Adobe suite, if you're paying for like the video package or the photo package, you might have the ability to get Adobe Media Encoder. Again, it's very simple to open it, say, here's my file, and then tell it what you want it to give you, and it'll spit out the file, usually no time at all.
It's been a while since I looked at it, but I've used Roxio, Easy Creator, in the past, Roxio Studio, and they have a conversion program for video on there as well, which works pretty good. But you got to buy the program. I mean, that's the thing. You got
Yeah, so
versus that.
back in the early 2000s when ripping DVDs was popular, right? And this is where the term toaster came from, because people would burn
Yeah.
DVDs and then they would pop out like toast. That's kind of where the word term toaster came from. So it was kind of a funny thing. But yeah, you had Roxio, Nero, a handful of other ones that were popular at the time. But then it kind of all fell back in. And if you look into the kind of the internet side of burning DVDs and Blu-rays, the two you're going to find for DVDs is Handbrake, and for Blu-rays it's make MKV.
Make MKV is good, very good too. But Handbrake is absolutely awesome. It's a great idea. All right, we got to take another quick break. We come back with more of Tech Talk Radio. How are the tariffs going to affect the industry? We'll talk about that when we come back. I'm Andy Taylor.
I'm Shawn DeWeird.
And I'm Justin Lemmy. Send us an X at Tech Talk Radio. We'll be right back.
I was asked a question the other day, and it's a good question. We've been talking about tariffs. That subject has come up. And it's not, the subject of politics, but the question has been if you've been wanting to get maybe something that's tech-wise that is not made here in the United States. And that's a variety of products. Motherboards, graphics cards, the Nintendo Switch 2, which is going to be out. Could tariffs affect the cost of some of the technology that we may be wanting to buy? Because they're going to be going both ways.
It definitely will. I mean, there's no way that a 10% tariff increase on China is not going to increase product costs. Of course it is. How much technology is made in China?
Yeah.
All of it.
All of it.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's weird to say, but I would say more than 75% of the world's stuff is made in China.
Well, you've got other countries like Vietnam and Thailand, but I mean, what technology is made here in the United States? You think about that. When it comes to motherboards, there are companies out there. We think of HP. We think, HP, right? Great American company, Hewlett Packard. Most of their products are probably coming from offshore.
Yep.
I mean, if you look at just how much impact there was just from COVID shutting stuff down for a period of time, then that didn't increase the cost at all. It just disrupted the supply chain. So if you increase the cost and that offsets the supply chain, that's going to have a domino effect in the same direction. So there's going to be a price hike on everyday goods and everyday technology and consumer technology that's people are going to see.
Well,
go ahead.
I was going to chime in here real quick with this. I mean, what is the end goal here? Because I mean, I know
saving money.
Well, we're gonna eventually have to dive into a little bit of politics on this, which without trying to get too deep into politics. But right. I think the end goal is that Trump wants to have more of these companies bring back these products into America to have American companies manufacture these products. I think the problem with that is we don't have the infrastructure. I don't believe. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't believe we have these types of factories that Taiwan and China have where they can manufacture the silicon to make the NVIDIA chips and the CPUs and the motherboards and other things like that. I just don't think we have that. But then on top of that, it's all about paying the living wage. You're gonna bring jobs back to America. Sure, that's the end goal, right? But at what cost? Because now these companies are getting this stuff made for pennies on the dollar. And this is just the way the world works. You bring these back to America, now you're going to have to pay these people that do this stuff a living wage unless we go completely automated and we just have robots make everything.
Right. Which some companies would love. Intel does have a plant in Tempe, Arizona, a silicon processing plant for the processors and whatnot. So there is some manufacturing that goes on here in the United States, and it's probably beyond that. There's other products that we've seen, but it does make you wonder: should then people start thinking about? Okay, I've been saying I'm going to update my computer. I'm going to get new motherboard. And they like to do it themselves. Should they be just going ahead and buying them now rather than waiting? Because
I mean, if you can.
Yeah, if you can. And, I don't know if I would be spending a lot of my reserve cash right now.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what the market's going to do. Like with these tariffs, it's going to unsettle so much. There's so much uncertainty that investing in a big technology debt of like buying stuff, it might not be the most wise decision right now.
Yeah.
There are other products too. We think about Apple as well. If you wanted to purchase a smartwatch, for example, an Apple Watch, you'd like to, but maybe you didn't want to buy one like an Apple Watch, but you want to monitor your heart. Justin, you went with the Ring, which I see you're wearing today.
Actually, no, it's actually on the charger right now.
Oh, I thought you were. But how's that been working out for you?
I actually really like it. I have the Pixel Watch 3. And I got that recently when I got the Pixel Watch or the Pixel 9 Fold. I got a free Pixel Watch 3. I really honestly don't even use the Pixel Watch 3 for what it is mostly used for. I mean, I get the vibration on my wrist and I'm like, oh, I got something I got to respond to. But personally, my eyesight's not the greatest, so I have to wear reading glasses. I can't read my watch. Like I can't look at it. I mean, I can't put it far enough away from my face to be able to read the tiny little print on the watch. And I don't wear my glasses all the time. I only wear them when I need to look up something close. So for me, the Pixel Watch just really doesn't do the trick. Whereas the Aura Ring, I just set it and forget it. And the Pixel Watch has to be charged basically every day. The Aura Ring is once every 8 to 10 days.
Oh, wow.
And it only takes 60 minutes to charge.
Yeah, and it's cost-wise versus the Pixel Watch. Well, the Pixel Watch was a good deal.
It's equivalent, I would say. It's about $350 to $450. Depends on which finish you want. If you want the gold or the silver finish, it's obviously going to be more. But yeah, but here's the cool thing about the Aura Ring, and it's not applicable to the Pixel Watch or the Apple Watch or anything else, is that the Aura Ring is actually FSA eligible.
Nice.
So if you have an FSA through your health insurance company, they will pay for the ring, and they will pay, this is the funniest part about it. They will pay the monthly subscription to the Aura Ring. They will not pay the yearly subscription, which makes no sense to me because you're actually saving money if you do the yearly subscription.
Right, yeah.
But at least with my particular health insurance company, which is through UMR, they're like, look, we don't make the rules. We'll pay for the monthly at $5.99 a month, but we're not going to pay for the yearly at $50. I'm like, wait, you're literally wasting money because like $50 for the year or $6 a month. Like, what the heck? But anyway,
now, with the smartwatch though, you don't pay monthly, do you?
No. Smartwatch, no, you don't. I mean, unless you got LTE. If you got the cellular connectivity, then obviously, yeah. But that's usually tied in with your phone plan or whatever. You don't really notice it. It's kind of just there. But with the Aura Ring, it's like a $5 or $6 a month subscription to get the extra benefits. But what I like about the Aura Ring is it's way more accurate. Like, I'll be working out or doing something, and then my Aura Ring is like, hey, we detected you're doing a workout. And I'm like, well, yes, I am. 30 minutes later, the Pixel Watch is like, hey, you just did a workout. I'm like, yeah, like 30 minutes ago. Yeah. Thanks.
All right.
Thanks, Pixel
So
Watch.
Apple is doing something kind of different, which I thought was cool. They're putting out the Power Beats Pro 2. These are earbuds. Basically, you wear them in your ear, right? it's not just music though. This is different. So imagine you're working out in the gym, right? So you put these in, you're listening to music. It's monitoring your heart rate. So it can tell if you're getting a good workout, if your heart is accelerating or your heart is running at a good workout pace. So if you're doing a
I thought
workout,
their Apple Watch was supposed to do that.
well, say you don't want to wear an Apple Watch, but you can wear these Power Beats Pro, listen to music, and it's going to twofold also monitor your heart, which is some people may go, that's kind of cool. Now they're set to retail for about $249. Although, just from what you're saying, Justin, I think the Ring would probably be a better alternative.
Well,
in this case.
I mean, if you're looking for a true health benefit, like a health tracker, I think the Aura Ring is right up there along with like the Garmin or a couple of the other ones out there. But like when it comes to just overall general, like it does everything. Yeah, the Apple Watch is a great watch. The Pixel Watch is decent. But I don't know much about these new earbuds you're talking about. But yeah, for like a true and true set it and forget it health monitor, the Aura Ring is great.
Now I have the Apple Watch and it monitors sleep apnea, which is
This does too.
my cardiologist wanted
Yep.
to. He's keep an eye on that, and I did, and I don't have an issue, which is kind of cool that my Apple Watch was able to see that. So you do the same thing with the Ring. You get the sleep apnea notification or
Sleep apnea notification. It also can do other stuff for cardio, like what's the other one where you get the arrhythmia?
yeah,
It can detect arrhythmia.
yeah, it can detect. What do they call that? AFib.
AFib, yes. AFib. It can detect AFib
Yep.
as well.
It also can track episodes of hypertachycardia.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
I've had dealings with as well. So, all right. I want to ask you guys something. Chrome extension plugins. What do you guys think about those? I mean, some people say don't do plugins, don't plug into your Chrome browser or your Edge browser or whatever browser you're using.
Don't use Chrome, period.
Oh, you're not a fan of Chrome?
Not anymore.
No? Like what made you kind of say I'm done with Chrome?
Well, I mean, just take a look at your task manager. After you install Chrome and you put a couple of these extensions on, look at how much resources Chrome is taking up on your computer. I mean, it is absolutely ridiculous how resource intensive Chrome is. And then you might say, "Oh, well, then that's fine. I'll go use Microsoft Edge." Edge is Chromium based. It's going to use the same amount of resources. Firefox. I've never really been a Firefox fan until about the past 2 years. But
Yeah, a lot of people I know
Firefox,
say Firefox is great.
well, no, Firefox is great. Obviously, I love Firefox, and Firefox doesn't use nearly even like half of the resources that Chrome does. But the thing is that you've got all the big tech companies now that are coming after Firefox because Mozilla is the company that makes Firefox. They're a nonprofit organization. They don't have a lot of money to advertise. They don't have a lot of money to, fend off lawyers and things like that. So they're basically getting, stuff thrown at them if you want, like from the public saying that, oh, Firefox is crap and don't use Firefox. It's actually way better. I think Firefox, I've used Opera. I've used Brave. Okay, first off, don't ever, ever, ever use Brave.
Originally, we thought it was good, and then
Brave was supposed to be the privacy browser. It is the exact opposite. They sell every bit of your information. Brave is the most horrible browser you could possibly use.
Yeah.
Opera, Brave. I've used Edge. I would say,
DuckDuckGo? What about DuckDuckGo?
well, DuckDuckGo is a search engine.
Okay.
I use DuckDuckGo as a search engine. Yeah, that's my default search engine. If I were to rate my browsers, and I'm going to ask Shawn the same question, but if I were to rate my browsers from first to fourth, I would say Firefox first, Edge second, Opera third, and Chrome fourth.
Shawn?
Chrome for compatibility at work and with devices that are mass produced. Chrome is probably the most widely used, so it has the most compatibility with software and development and things that we use. I would say for personal use, Mozilla Firefox,
Right.
Chrome, Safari, Edge.
Oh, forgot Safari. Yeah, the Apple one. So I found a plugin. We've been trying to troubleshoot an internet provided signal, lots of dropouts. And they kept saying it was not that bad. I checked it, 29 disconnects in one day with an extension, that a Chrome extension that helped me, that I was able to get in the Google store, called Internet Connection Monitor. I checked out the privacy statement. Developer disclosed that it will not collect your user data. They declare your data is not being sold to third parties. Outside of the approved use cases, not being used for transferred for purposes that are unrelated to the item's core functionality, and not being used or transferred to determine credit worthiness or for lending purposes. Why they had to say that, I had no idea. But Internet Connection Monitor basically will sit in the background. If your browser is open or even minimized, it will then track your internet connection. You can click on it, and it will tell you how many times you dropped out, how long the dropout was. And I found it to be very helpful, because this provider, this ISP, who is based here in Southern Arizona, was saying, well, it's not dropping out that much. And it was. We were able to actually show them that, versus what I was getting with Xfinity, where it would stay on for days at a time. So again, I like this. I like this plugin. I want to say Internet Connection Monitor, but again, it's a Chrome plugin that you can get from the Google Store. Don't get it anywhere else. Only get it through Google Store if you're going to get it. But that one was pretty good for us to be able to say, no, we've been up this long, etc.
Interesting.
All right.
The only extension for Chrome that I use is AdBlock Plus.
How about one pass?
See,
you use that as well?
Oh yeah, 1Password.
Yeah, 1Password.
Yeah, I have 1Password. Yeah, I use 1Password. But now, isn't AdBlock Plus? They're blocking all of those, like YouTube and all those things. They're blocking all of those ad blocking extensions on Chrome. However, they're not blocking them on Firefox.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm going to look into that.
They
All right.
keep it's kind of a battle of attrition, right? YouTube will block it. AdBlock will put out a patch. YouTube will block it. AdBlock will put it. They'll keep fighting. They're fighting back and forth on.
Well, yeah, that has been the historical case, but now YouTube has come out with a way that basically just shuts down AdBlock Plus permanently. I don't know how they're doing it, but the thing is if you use Firefox, doesn't affect it.
All right, another quick break. We'll be back with more of Tech Talk Radio. I'm Andy Taylor.
I'm Shawn DeWeird.
And I'm Justin Lemmy. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Tech Talkers. We'll be right back. Now, I don't know about you guys, but there was a certain sporting event that happened last Sunday.
Right.
Puppy
It
Bowl?
was called the Super Bowl.
The Puppy Bowl.
Superb Owl.
Superb Owl.
What
Superb Owl.
what did you think of it? What do you?
I absolutely love. I first off, I hate both teams. I mean, I'm a Denver Broncos fan, so obviously, I have to hate the Kansas City Chiefs.
All right.
But I also hate the Philadelphia Eagles because I think their fans are terrible.
All right, where was it in 4K? People were saying I was supposed to get it in 4K.
Well, yeah, you have to. Well, first off, you have to have the ability to get 4K. So, I have YouTube TV and I have the 4K plan. The 4K feed was on Fox Sports, the actual Fox Sports 4K channel. If you were trying to watch it on your local Fox affiliate, you were only going to get 720p as the resolution.
Now, some people were saying Tubi was offering it in 4K, which I did
potentially
not check
could
out.
be.
Tubi
It could be
a free service like Pluto and some of the other ones that are out there.
I don't know. I have a feeling they would charge for that one, but.
Yeah.
But I did. I watched it. I watched it on the 4K feed on my televisions, and I have to say I really think that I think the Chiefs finally realized that. I'm sorry. I think the NFL finally realized that people were on to them about the referees helping the Kansas City Chiefs over the course of the last few seasons. Because it was a huge social media thing. Everybody's talking about the refs and how they're helping the Chiefs. And then we get to the Super Bowl, and Patrick Mahomes, the quarterback of the Chiefs, gets blasted in the face with a obvious face mask, and the Chiefs and the refs are like, I didn't see anything.
Oh, man.
And so I think the refs are like, hey, look, we got you here. Now you're on your own. And it really honestly showcased how bad the Chiefs really are when you don't have the refs working for you.
You're going to upset the Chiefs fans. We're already upset.
Boo hoo.
All right. Technically, though, we're watching the halftime performance and then into the game afterwards.
Oh, that was great.
There was a scene where Gloria said, "Is that a drone? Do they actually fly?" And Shawn, you would know this. Do they fly drones over the playing field, or is these the ones that are on wires that you're not supposed to see?
Yeah, I would have to do some research. It's likely the Skycam. They likely
the
ran
wire
multiple
ones.
Skycams.
Yeah.
But I can't imagine they would have gotten permission to fly a drone inside the stadium during
Well,
with
I
that many
think-
people.
I think there actually was I think it's a law or something. No, well, obviously it's a law with the drones, but I think there's that safety thing. That's why those Skycam, they are drones, but they are attached to a tether so that the drone can't fly off and hit somebody.
They're
will-
they're four wires extended into certain spaces of the stadium, and then it's all tracked by which reel is pulling and that kind of thing. Like a lot of times they'll use multiple so that certain ones get certain zones. And it's actually interesting because working with in the stadium at Notre Dame, they use Skycam or SpiderCam, depending on who's paying for what. But if they're using multiple, they actually have this software that maps out by like regional values so that they
Right.
can't cross over and cross the lines and all that stuff.
All right, best commercial for me before we get out of here. I got to say it's got to be the Matt Damon commercial, which was just I love that one. Did you guys have one?
the case of the Mondays, the Monday light. It was the Coors Light with the sloths. You know,
Oh my
with the
gosh,
sloths,
yeah,
and
that
there's
was
like the
good. Yeah,
slow
yeah,
speed chase, and at the end, the guy walks in the apartment, and he throws a can of Coors Light at his friend who's a sloth, and the can goes right by him as he's slowly raising his hand. That was my favorite one. Or the Seal, the singer
love the
Seal
Seal.
doing the Mountain Dew commercial as an actual
As a
seal.
seal.
That was a great one.
You know, I saw a couple in the first half, and then,
Yeah.
like I said earlier in the show, it's been a rotating week, multiple weeks of sickness in my family.
Right.
After the halftime show, we were all out.
Oh
I
no.
went right to bed.
All right.
And
Well,
I will say that in the TV community, they're all talking about the score bug with the
What?
graphic, with the score.
Oh yeah,
on
yeah.
how, on how totally out of left field that came.
That was ridiculous.
With everybody thought it was wrong because of the
Right.
the opacity level behind the numbers and the fonts coming off, were like the text
It
was
just-
way bigger.
Yeah, it just looks so Bush League.
Every
Right.
tech blog or Discord channel that I'm on was discussing how awful the score bug looked.
Yeah, it
So,
did not look good.
From a TV person, like that's all I was focused on.
all right, listen, we're hoping that everybody feels better, Shawn, and your household, that they get over this bug, and that we'll have to next week talk about the spy kits that you both got. If you had some fun with that, so we'll save that for next week on Tech Talk Radio. I'm Andy Taylor.
I'm Shawn DeWeird.
And I'm Justin Lemmy. Find us on the web one more time at techtalkradio.com. Have yourselves a great week. We'll see you.